Hello YouTube, I wanted to do a 55-gallon tank video as I promised in my last video for you guys. This is a 55-gallon tank. I have basically moderately planted. I'm not 100% what I'm going to do with this tank yet. Maybe plant it a little heavier, add a different variety of plants in. I do have root tabs in the sand there, so it's ready to go if I decide to go with more plants, do a heavily planted tank, or even if I decide not to do that, it'll be perfectly fine. I did want to highlight my favorite stem plant. This is the Bacopa, and with this particular variety, you can actually see there's red tinges on it, which is just beautiful. I really love the red. I've seen other varieties, they're very green, no red. I love the green glow, but at the same time the red just gives it a little bit something more. Speaking of red, as you'll see, this Amazon sword right here, it's called an Amazon Fire Sword. It basically is an Amazon sword with the red coloration on it as well. I just really love the red coloration. It makes it a little bit more exotic, and I just really like the way it looks. Now, speaking of the stocking of this tank, as you can see, there's quite a bit of fish in here. I do have about 8 emerald cories. They're hiding, of course. They don't like to come out very often. They're definitely a little bit more skittish than, say, albino cories, which I have kept in the past. They don't really like to show themselves. Then again, this is a basement aquarium, so it's not up where there's a lot of traffic. People aren't constantly walking by it. When I'm feeding, of course, they're out. But as you can see, that one right there, just being on the side of the tank, scared it a little bit. And once one of them gets going, they all get going. They all hop back there in the Bacopa and just start hiding. Trying to get a couple closer views for you. But they're about, you know, I bought them as juveniles. They're not adults yet, I wouldn't imagine. I'm not sure how breeding is going to go because I do have a pretty high pH and hard water. I also have 6 angelfish, as you can see. I have 2 koi angelfish, 2 black striped angelfish, and 2 of the more silver, white or plain angelfish here. One of the koi, if I can find him, there he is. Just beautiful, just stunning. Now, he's wanting food right now, so he's looking directly at me, but try and get a side view of him. Very pretty fish. I would love to breed those. I've heard that they can breed in water that is hard. It is possible. Well, I guess we'll see what happens. I've been floating the idea of using a Rhodey system, reverse osmosis, deionized, oh goodness, can't say that today, deionized water. So using about half that and half tap might lower the hardness and as well as my pH, especially in a planted tank such as this. It looks like I also have had a algae outbreak. So I recently changed the lighting on this tank. Technically I didn't change it, I just reduced it. I had the lighting here for this tank, which is my 30-gallon, on top of the 55-gallon over here. And just reduced it because the algae is just taking over. I have 6 autocats, autosynclus, and they are great algae eaters. All their bellies are full. I can definitely tell I've been trying to keep up with it, but they just haven't. I mean, you know, here's one of them. And they're trying, they just can't. I needed to reduce the light. You know, I just got a new fish tank, so that's great, works out perfectly. I just switched that light over there. I think these plants will be fine with the reduced light. I also am fertilizing as well. And just as a note for you guys as well, in the last video I told you that this is one of the fertilizers that I use, and that there was a fertilizer from this brand that was an equivalent of having CO2 in your aquarium. That is actually this product here. So this is an equivalent of CO2. Also will help you reduce the algae in your tank. This is empty. but I did just order another one. So definitely a great product. Definitely recommend that you have it. It will help your plants grow tremendously and flourish, literally. Just going back into the stocking load, I do have about 8 Zebradanios. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with these. I don't know if I'm going to keep them. They're great, they're cute, they're awesome. I just don't know if they're really what I want this tank to become. So I don't know that I'm going to keep them. They're fat, as you can probably see. They eat well. They're very voracious eaters, so they definitely get to all of the food before the rest of the fish do. So I definitely have to feed a lot out at once so that all the other fish can get to the food. I also have 2 giant Danios, and I do love these fish. I think they're absolutely beautiful. They're active. They're stunning. They just have that orange sheen on them, which is just breathtaking when they're in large groups. The only problem with them is, see exactly what they're doing right now with that chasing. I think they chase each other so much that they jump out of the tank. So I actually started with 5 of these guys, and I am down to 2 just from them jumping out of the tank. So, and I'm not a lid person. After I started doing saltwater tanks, I stopped becoming a lid person. I would rather the light be able to penetrate all throughout the aquarium at the best angles. And when you have a lid, you don't really get that. It's more of a focused light in one area. I did actually get 1 Rasbora, which came with the giant Danios. At that time, I wasn't really sure or very familiar with giant Danios, so I thought it was maybe just a male or a female, or it was younger than the other fish. But you see him right there. He's just in there. He's been there. He shoals, not schools, with the other fish. So I've never really had any problems with him. You know, I guess it's cool to have a little bit of variety. I almost just want to keep him just because. Just in principle of, like, he's just a trooper, like, all alone, and I don't know, I'm just proud of him. I also had, at one point, several of these Dubowie catfish, which are the catfish here with the stripes. They're actually typically for soft water, but they do pretty well once they're acclimated to any type of water. I originally had 4 of these guys, 4 or 5 of these guys, and I lost 1 or 2 from jumping as well. Not a fish I'm going to get again because they are not cheap. They're like $8 a fish at my local fish store, and that's actually at a mom pop store. These fish I've never seen in any chain store. Beautiful fish, love them. They're a little bit picky eaters, and they're definitely not the smartest fish I've ever seen before. They're very easy to catch whenever you get into the tank because they just don't know where to go, and they confuse themselves and get caught in corners. I'm gonna keep them because if I do decide to go a little bit softer with this water, they would thrive in it because they are a soft water species, as are the angelfish. But today's angelfish, we all know, can survive several different, a pretty wide range of water parameters as far as pH and hardness goes. I did want to get into my filtration. I did an unboxing video for this canister filter, and I told you guys I was going to show you what it looked like all set up, because obviously you can see this tank is it's just really stocked high. And so I got a canister filter off of eBay for about $50, and it does 500 gallons per hour. So we're actually turning over the water, the entire water volume of the tank, in about nine times an hour. So 9 times an hour, the whole entire volume of this fish tank is being filtered, which is really helping me keep up with the stocking load, and my 75% bi-weekly water changes really help me keep caught up. And it's very quiet, not that it really matters because it is in my basement, but just for those of you who maybe want to purchase it and put it in your home, it really is a great product. I will also add a link in the description for the filter there. Alright, if you guys have any questions, comments, please leave them in the video or in the comment section. Thank you for watching.